Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody to the latest episode of PAO Fans International. Today I am joined with Nick. Good evening, Nick.
Good evening. Things change very quickly, don't they, as deadline day approaches? And as always with PAO FC, there is never a dull moment. Never ever.
No, there's never a dull moment. It's an emotional roller coaster, and there's so many emotional topics. I look forward to chatting with you today. Unfortunately, Sturge is not with us to join in the celebrations and commiserations. He's enjoying his trip overseas at the moment. So, yeah, there's much to Sturge, but so much to go through, Nick. Looking forward to chatting about it. Let's get things started. So, let's go straight to really what's fresh in our minds at the moment, and that was the overnight match against Levadiakos, the opening match for the season for us. It was played this morning, our time, 5 a.m. this morning, obviously evening in Greece and in different times across the world, but so many talking points. I mean, this club always gives us talking points, the good and the bad. Where does one start, Nick? Where does one start?
Even this game itself, it's crazy to think that it's a tale of two halves. It's crazy to think the side that came out for the second half was the same side that came out for the first half and dominated. And our season could not get off to a better start than what it did, scoring what, 40, 45 seconds in. Zulisic with the goal, hitting it, getting a touch on the way in. And you think this is a dream start to the new season on the back of qualifying for the Europa League. It's only going to get better from here. And it looked like it would get better when within 25 minutes, we hit the post a couple of times. We had three big chances. But at halftime, the scoreboard only showed 1-0. And that's a major worry, as always. We saw it last year, came back to bite us several times. The lack of goals is still the elephant in the room. It's still a major issue. However, this season, the difference is it's not a lack of chances, it's just the finishing. And boy, did it come back to bite us, because in the second half, Levadiakos got a well-deserved equaliser. They completely bossed it. They overran us. And for me, that's where the alarm bells are. The fact that they were able just to dominate and control in the fashion that they did. And they're no mugs, Levadiakos. We know that. They were good last season. They gave us a couple of tricky games, but to return to Leoforos, our spiritual home, fresh in the new season, and to dish that second half up is just, it's unforgivable. And it feels like it's one step forward, two steps back, as always, with this club. And it's just an endless cycle. Like the rest of our rivals are already on 6 points. We're on 1 point. And in hindsight, for me, that move to postpone the Offie game now is a masterstroke, because I've got no doubt in my mind with the threadbare squad that we've got, the same would have happened in that game.
Yeah, couldn't agree more in terms of having that Offie game postponed. And I agree with you that it's pretty obvious it was tale of two halves, and the feedback after the game across all quarters comment on how bad that second half was. But let's really drill down though on a core problem, which is okay, we conceded a goal, and it was from a former player of ours, Verbic, who didn't do much for us in the few seasons was with us, and yet he pulled out what was a great goal against us. So, he saves his best for playing against us. But ultimately, though, what we're talking about is all those missed chances that you've touched on, Nick. And yes, we had posts. Yes, we had some clear opportunities there. But the part that I thought I'd comment on is, having rewatched the highlights of the game earlier, a lot of those chances are coming from either defenders or people that really aren't goal scorers. Like the poster was from Duba, the header. I mean, the guy's been a solid defender in the short time he's with us. What we expect him to be scoring goals for us as well. The crossbar was cheering. The goal came about really from Galabida's shot. So it's our defenders in the main, or in the one case of Cherin, that really are having those goal scoring opportunities. And we're just not giving our strikers enough opportunity to score, or any opportunity to score. So, yes, we can be critical of Zadersky. Yes, Forti copped a lot of backlash before the transfer was announced in terms of lack of goal scoring, but it's still clearly a bigger problem there from what I can see.
That's where we're going to get onto it later, but that's where I think our new signing, he's going to be our most important player. If our season is going to be a success, it hinges on how quickly the border can adapt and fit in and unlock our strikers, whoever that may be that's on the pitch at any given time. And yeah, you're right, because the chances are falling to defenders. And now it's not a small sample size anymore. We're talking 7 games, 1 win, and all the goals we've scored, not one has come from a striker. Not
Yep.
one.
Yep.
And it's right there. That sums up our start to the season.
Not that we've scored many goals over the European campaign, but what was three in total, if I'm not mistaken?
Rangers 1, Samsunspor 2, and now 1 in the league. Unless I'm not 4.
Yeah, four in total across 8 games.
Didiakopoulos, defender. Palmer Brown, defender. Zurisic 2.
2, yeah.
I think that's it.
That's it. What do you make of the excuses? And it could be a valid excuse that the team sort of was tired and ran out of energy that second half, didn't have the stamina, and that's why we dropped off immensely.
I think it's true. And for me, we can't use it as an excuse. I mean, we rotated in this game. We saw Lafont make his first appearance for the club. I think now Lafont's going to be our starting keeper for the league, if that's anything to go by. Mladenovic came in, for instance, Calabria. So I can't blame fatigue. We're still early doors in the new season, and we rotated. I just put it down to, I don't even know what to put it down. I guess Levadiakos and their coach doing a job on us.
The only way I can give credit to that excuse, though, is with our midfield. And
Only there.
And look, Bacaseta has consistently. Actually, before I say what I was about to say, I think Bacaseta has been good. Whilst he's been on the pitch this season, I think he's been pretty good. And this first half probably wouldn't be too much of an exception. But he's shown that he can't last the 90 minutes so far this season. I don't think he's lasted 90 minutes in any single game. So he got tight. He had to be subbed out. Sharon ran around a lot. At some point, he was going to run out of gas too. And he's come off the Europa League game against Samsunspor. So those two are tied. Chirivella, yes, maybe no, don't know. And for me, I found that when we made those subs and we brought on Renato Sanchez and we brought on Bregel, it didn't lift the team at all. So part of me is like, yeah, it makes sense. 2 days after Europa League game, they're tired. It's only 2 days, get it. But when we brought fresh players on, didn't change a single thing. Didn't have that run. The whole team was just flat.
And I think the other thing as well, once you look a bit deeper into it, Lafont, first appearance, new player. Calabria, new player. Tubar, new player. Still, this is his first league appearance. Chirivella, new player. Even Palmer Brown, this time last year, was not a first choice. You can essentially call him like a new signing because now he's a first choice these days. Kyriakopoulos, there's a lot of Renato Sanchez when he came on, and there's going to be more players that we're going to talk about later on. It's like a whole new look team. So it's going to, unfortunately, now it looks like it's going to take time to gel.
Yeah, it's a good point you make, because I think I may have said it about a couple of months ago that we had a pretty stable starting 11. I think it was before the first European game, that it wasn't the squad was fairly stable, not too many changes. Rui had a full preseason. I was pretty optimistic. Fast forward to today, a lot's changed since then, hasn't it?
Yeah. And that's the problem. And we're going to get onto transfers. We've left things too late. When they knew certain players were leaving and they failed to act quick enough to get the right reinforcements in.
So before we get to that, coming back to the wash up of this game, do you think it's too early to start getting concerned or the impact of the season? I mean, should we be just calming the farm about where we're at right now, or do we get carried away in typical Greek fashion at the first moment of something going wrong?
This has been on my mind all day. The logical thing would be to say it's only match day one and nothing's won and lost, but I can't help but be concerned. Maybe it's the Greek in me. Maybe it's the Panathinaikos fan in me that it's 15 years without a title. Maybe it's that. I don't
Yeah,
know. But I look at the lack of goals and where the goals are coming from and the midfield conundrum that we've spoken about. That now Rui's going to live and die by the fitness and the form of Renato Sanchez, which is a worry. I look at those two things and that scares me. That really scares me. And the ladder shows Olympiacos 8, PAOK 6, Panathinaikos 1.
yep, yep, yep. Once again, we're starting from
Like
behind.
last year.
Yep, and then we got to work extra hard and catch up. And there's just no margin for error, and that's the case from match day one.
It's
So
it's our it's our Achilles heel, isn't it? Every year, Taivia against these weak, the sixth and below on the ladder. Every year.
the one thing I will say though is Levadiakos looks like a decent outfit this year. So fair's fair, credit to them. I think they will be in the top half, definitely. I got a feeling that they could well be top 5 or 6.
Mm.
Based on how Addy is playing, I think that if things stay as they are, they'll definitely be ahead of them because they're playing better football. And they made a few decent signings.
And they kept a few decent players as well. The likes of Tsapras, Vihos, even though they've lost Zini, well drilled, well coached.
Yep,
He's done a great job there last year, and he's got them in tip-top condition. They
yep,
look like a fit side that can last.
yep. Couldn't agree more. So let's then turn to more positive
Yes.
thoughts because I think that with all the frustrations of the last week or so, we were hoping for a nice little positive today, which didn't, or this morning for us, which didn't end up being the case. But it was only a few days ago that we finished our Europa League qualifying successfully. So we ended up playing 6 games in Europe. And whilst we only won one game, we had positive outcomes in 4 of the 6 in terms of first progressing against Shakhtar Donetsk and then against Samsunspor. But it was only just a few days ago we qualified against Samsunspor. We didn't beat them in the second leg. That was a 0-0 draw. Again, a bit of a different game to the first leg and a different game to what we saw this morning. Yeah, I'm still sort of a bit scratching my head over that one, to be honest. I mean, we were rapt about how we're going through, but in terms of how we played in that game and where it sort of finished up, I'm not quite sure what I make of it.
That one is you just take the result and move on. It's the major positive is our first mission for the year has been accomplished. Qualify for the league phase of the Europa League. That's what we set out to do right from the get go. Even when we started out from the Champions League against Rangers, we knew we're not deep down. We're not a team that can last the distance in Champions League, even though that's where we want to be. But we want to be a competitive Europa League team, and I think we're well on our way to doing that. If the stars align, we'll get onto our draw. A lot of positives across the 6 games. I know we spoke about the negatives with Levadiakos, but as you said, it's an emotional roller coaster. It's not like it's just been all negatives. We have seen positives. With this game, I was shocked at how easy it was. The last half an hour, I would have thought we would have faced an avalanche of chances when
Yep.
I thought we'd be on the back foot. When they're chasing the game, they're 2-1 down on aggregate, but we saw it out very comfortably. Dragovski was the hero early doors, producing that big save, point blank range with his head in 5, 6 minutes in. Other
Yep.
than that, they barely threatened. He had a couple of other routine saves to make. And from Forty should have done better. He had a sitter, 1-on-1. That's the only major chance across 7 games that's fallen to a striker.
Yep.
And he should
Yep.
have done better. And I hope when those chances fall to him at Sporting that he puts them away.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest advertisement for him, was it?
No.
In lieu of a major transfer that was about to be finalised. But look, every striker has their moments where good or bad, and yeah, all is forgiven on that one. We qualified,
Absolutely.
didn't need it in the end. It would have been nice for him and for the club to celebrate that, but so be it. We'll take the qualification and move on. But you touched on the Europa League draw, and I must admit it was a bit of fun, certainly from our end. And seeing it across social media, everyone's trying to predict what draw we're going to get, and I must admit, there was a number of people thought we are going to get Nottingham Forest for obvious reasons.
I
Didn't know.
thought you were going to talk about the violins and the magic shows.
That doesn't even deserve commentary. Seriously, I mean, I think our marketing team should be running those draws instead. They'll do a better job, and that's saying something. But in terms of the draw, though, coming back to the draw, look, it was very pleasant surprise that we got a very favourable draw. I'd never in a million years thought we were going to get that, but it worked out all right in the end, didn't it?
First time ever, they looked after us. We cannot complain at all with this draw. When you think of the shockers we've been on the receiving end of the last few years, even this year in qualifying, the likes of Rangers and Shakhtar, that's harder than most of these league phase opponents we've got.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I think one of those sites on X, Twitter, where they rate like the fixture difficulty, out of the 36 teams, we've got the second softest draw
Yep.
in the entire
Yeah.
Europa League. So all the talking has to be done on the pitch. Over to you, Rui, and the players. We really, really, really have to make this count. It started off with me fearing the worst because they go pot by pot, and Roma, Feyenoord, you think shit, where this is not good. But then by pot 4, we've got 8 games, 6 of them are winnable. Even and the timing now, Roma is at home. That's match day 8. They could be well and truly home and host qualified. You know, they could be top 4, top 2, first. You don't know what they could be by then. They could look to rest. There's friendly relations between the two clubs, so the atmosphere is going to be outstanding. You got Cisse pumping it up on shows on social media, on his Instagram, saying, "Shall I return for this game to relive the old memories?" We also draw Ferencváros, who we've also got friendly relations with as fans as well. They're green as well, like us. Mostly winnable. Malmo winnable. Ferencváros winnable. Feyenoord's going to be tricky. But again, it's not a must win. It'll be a good experience. Go ahead, Eagles. It goes without saying, must win. Who else have I left out? Young Boys, first up actually away. That's a must win. With that one, it's just unfortunate it's away because Switzerland is not cheap. So the alienists, the Greeks from Greece, it's going to be hard to afford. And AstroTurf is a worry. That's all. But Young Boys, they're nothing special.
Well, it's funny you say that because I was speaking to a work colleague today who got back from Switzerland from a holiday just a few weeks ago. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, Switzerland, yeah, Young Boys, yeah, with trip. And I said, how expensive is it? He goes, Peter, that is the most expensive holiday I've been on. So
yeah,
there you go. But
I remember Villa played them last year in the Champions League there, and the English were blowing up, and they couldn't believe it how expensive it was. So imagine the Greeks.
So in terms of the schedule, I just got it in front of me here. So you called out Young Boys away first up, then it's Go Ahead Eagles at home. Then after that's Feyenoord away, which is for me the hardest fixture of all. That's an easy call to make. Then Malmo away, Sturm Graz at home, and we owe Sturm Graz something because I remember back in the day we had them and they beat us both games. And then after that, Victoria Pilsen at home. Ferencváros away, and then Roma at home. So definitely doable. When I say doable, 8 games? You think we can win at least 4?
Even if you take the pot ones out, you're left with 6. And we don't know what match day 8 looks like, as we said with Roma. They could rotate, rest. But even if you say Roma, you put a line through Roma, Feyenoord, you got 6 winnable games there. Not all 6 are must win. So we're not going to go into every game saying must win. But I think a minimum 4 out of those 6 have to be must win. And if we can pick up a couple other draws along the way, we're fine. If we're looking at 4-5 wins, and a couple of draws, we could be knocking on the door of top 8.
Yep. At the very least, we'd be making the top. Is it top 24? Like
Top
qualify?
24, but now, look, so that was my hope before the draw, anywhere in the top 24.
Yep.
Now, after this draw, I want to be anywhere in the top 16 to be seeded come playoff
Yep.
time.
Yep. Yep.
And then and the other way they've done it, we'd get the home leg, second leg in a playoff if we get top 16.
Yeah, okay. So the incentives there, but at the same time, I think the players have got enough motivation to show their best in Europe, showcase who they are, what they can do.
It's just now the midfield, the defense for me sorted. It's the midfield and now unlocking the players and finding the goals. Because surely the goals have to come at some stage. The fact that we're creating chances and we're going to speak about our new signing attacking midfielder that I'm delighted with, surely he can unlock our forwards. Surely. I refuse to believe that it's going to be like this the whole season. It can't be.
Well, I think that let's get onto that then. Let's go straight to the transfer season that's been thus far and what's happened in the last few days. And there's a lot to digest. There's a lot of moving parts, and there still are a few moving parts there. So let's get straight into it. But I'll throw over to you, Nick, in terms of for you, what's probably the burning issue right now? And you called it out, which is scoring. But how do you see that sort of linking up with what's happening on the transfer front?
Two. Can Renato Sanchez stay fit and perform well the whole season? A. And B, can Dessers fill the massive void left by Fortis Ioannidis? And with Forti, I was going to get onto him later. It's twofold with Forti. For the first time today, really popped in my head. It's the off-field presence because he was the face of Panathafan, Forti. For the first time since Marcus Berg, you can say we had a player that was the face of the club. The kids loved him. Everyone had the young kids had Ioannidis 7 on the back. That's what we're going to lose as well. And someone, a captain, that stood up to Rodney in a derby back then and grabbed him by the shirt the way he did. Just things like that. And he wasn't a PAO fan growing up, Forti, but he honored, he honored us, the fans, and the Trifili and the Fanella. And he leaves with his head held high and the door's always open and welcome back for him to watch as a fan and hopefully one day return as a player. And I hope he kills it at Sporting. So what's the contract at Sporting in terms of duration? I know it's 25 million, 25% resale fee as well. And I heard they've set a release clause Sporting. I just heard actually earlier, a few hours ago, they've set it at 100 million.
Yep.
So if that's true, if from a future sale, we stand to pocket another 25 million.
And it surprises me greatly how good a deal we've negotiated, particularly that sell-on clause that you just called out. I didn't think it was within the capability of our team, of one individual in particular that's called that out, that we managed to get that. It is an amazing deal. And, we may be cursing the fact that we've lost our captain and we've lost a future Panathinaikos star, but you can't say no to an offer like that. And the only part I think that we've heard, but nothing confirmed really, but it was 22 million fee plus add-ons that takes it to 25. So even then, that 25% sell-on clause, even if they sell him for the same price, that's still a great deal, right? I mean, we're talking about another, say, 6 or 7 million as a percentage of the same sale price if it was to be sold for that. So it ends up being absolutely great business.
Across the board, really, and then that's testament to Ivan's sensational work from an academy boy, Vayanidis, and a Levadiakos boy. We've pocketed 40 million.
Yep.
So you got 40 million combined from those two, another 5 or so from Maximovic. You got this new sponsorship deal. I don't know where it's at because we played today without a sponsor. In the Europa League prize money that we've doubled from this time last year. So they're talking 80 million in, and unfortunately it hasn't been translated across to new signings, especially that 40 replacement, where we should have gone bigger than Dessers.
So and you're right, the for me, the biggest issue. So I know there's been a lot of frustration, anger with the Dessers signing because everyone wanted the big bum, the big major name with multi-million-dollar transfer and all that. And as I did too, right? So I'm not alone in that at all. I would love to have seen someone like a Mitrovic as an example, but yeah, most likely that was never on the cards. Most likely he wasn't interested in coming to play in Greece at this point. So park that. I can live with the Dessers signing. Now, he's been a goal scorer for a number of years, and I think I wrote down the stats. Like last season, he was 29 goals, 7 assists. The season before that is 22 goals, 9 assists. The year before that, he was playing in Italy, and I think he was, less than that, but still scored a few goals in the Serie A, which is a far, far more tougher league. So, and then with Feyenoord, he scored a number of goals in both league and also Europe as well. So, one thing about Dessers is he's a proven goal scorer, and I'm sure the Rangers fans will tell us that he can miss sitters, or as one said it, he can miss the easy one and score the extraordinary ones. So I think eyes wide open in terms of the type of player we're getting. But the one thing is, he's an out and out striker. He's not there for much else. He's not going to be playing as a 10, dribbling away or doing what Foti did in many games. But what he can do is score goals. So,
And that's what we need.
and that's all we need. And he's not the type that's going to drop back, get the ball, dribble, play the 10, or as a shadow striker, holding up the ball and feed others around him. He's there to get in a position to score. And I think that's what we need. Now, for me, where I get probably more disappointed in our transfer targets is that Dessers is Dessers, but I'd much rather have put most of the money into getting a quality number 8. And having Renato Sanchez, as good as he was back in the day, his injury concerns and the fact that he's never going to play a full season unless there's some miracle, absolute miracle that happens to him. We lost Maximovic, who was an absolute workhorse. We sold Maximovic for $5 million. They could have spent another $5 million to replace like for like. Instead, we get Renato Sanchez on loan.
And we don't know what we're going to get with him.
So that's for me my biggest frustration. And again, I'm okay with Dessers. Not my number one choice, but I can live with it if we were to have a quality team around him.
The overwhelming thing, what I've read with Dessers the last 24 or so hours from Rangers fans, is something I like to do is read up what the opposition fans, from the club that we're signing the player, from what they're saying. And the common theme that popped up was 2 things. You give him 10 chances, he'll score 5, miss 5. So finishing's a bit so-so. But the one thing that kept coming through was a great character.
Yep.
That's pretty much everyone, 99% of people were saying what a great character he is. So hopefully he's a good fit for the dressing room. He's not going to be that 40 presence off field with the face of the club and armband and jersey sales and someone the kids look up to and that sort of thing. But he's still got to beat Dessers and score his goals. And now that it's signed, we've got to get behind him.
Agree. And the other part, though, as a striker that a lot of people don't factor into their assessment is, okay, he can have 10 chances, miss 5, score 5. But he actually got himself into goal scoring position for those 10 times. And as a striker, quite often, it's actually presenting yourself, being in that position where you've got the opportunity to score. And I think that's one thing that's been lacking from us as well. And a lot of it's down to the team and how we're creating our chances and how often do our players look up to see where their colleagues are on the field before they decide to shoot or pass. Whereas I think Dessers, his job is there to be for that. His teammates are obliged now to look for it. That when they've got the ball in the box, that they've got to consider: do I shoot or to actually pass. And one thing I've noticed over the last, well, pretty much since every game this season, since it started qualifying, quite often there's many chances where there will be an open player in the box where there's just a sort of side pass in the 6-yard box or crossover or do whatever, through ball. And we wouldn't look to do that, wouldn't create it. They'll just take their own selfish shot and it end up being half a chance at best. And that for me is where I think Dessers, if Rui does it right, he'll set up the team to look for him, and he should then create the chances to at least have the 5 goals that go in off 10 shots. That's
And
my thought.
it's now then I guess the other two things that follow on from that is, well, firstly on Dessers is age. So we've signed him for what, roughly 5.5 mil. Big money for a 31-year-old for Greek standards. We're gonna have to cut our losses eventually, because there's no chance we're gonna get that sort of money when the time comes to move on from him, whether it's in 2-3 years' time. And the other thing is he's born in Belgium, half Belgian, but half Nigerian, and he's a Nigerian international. And we're losing to AFCON. Now we're going to lose our starting striker to AFCON in a month, January, where everything traditionally tends to go pear-shaped for us.
And we may lose Lafont as well.
Lafon's just switched to Ivory Coast, correct.
And then Zaroui is Moroccan as well. So
He
I don't know.
hasn't, he's more of a fringe Moroccan, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So no guarantees that he'll get caught up in that sense. So Dessers obviously has been the talk of the town for the last, say, 24, 48 hours. There's a lot of people unhappy with the signing, which for me is unfair to him.
Well, look, attacking him, like I saw an Instagram page, an Instagram account was created. No to Dessers. Everyone get to the airport to turn him away. Like that's ridiculous. That's yeah. He's not to blame.
He's not to blame at all. No. But in saying that, though, we've got other signings coming. I know you mentioned Daboda.
He's the key.
He was at the airport, so he hasn't been announced yet from what I saw last update. But that looks like it's a done deal. I mean, at the end of the day, he's at the airport and he made the statements and all that. So it's just a matter of time before that's announced. Like I said, €5 million, a bit under, so 4.5, something like that. Don't know the exact number. It was just under 5 by all reports. That seems to be a good signing. Good age. He's what a star player for Platense in the Argentinian Championship in terms of Platense as a team, who are really a real small club. Actually, ended up winning the championship.
That's what I was going to say, because their seasons are very weird. They sort of play like 2 seasons in one or in 1 year, and they won it. Yeah, they're like the last season equivalent sort of thing. And he was the main man in that side.
But he's a 10, if I'm not mistaken.
10, out and out 10. We haven't had that for a while.
So he'll be there to create competition with Bacaseta.
He'll be the starter. There's no way he's not first choice if we're spending, what, 5 mil on him.
Yeah.
And for me, he's the most important player in our team to unlock Dessers.
Well, how long do you give him? Do you think he'll be fit? Daboda,
yeah. Yeah, I think so. Look, I'm not going to get on his case if he has 1, 2, 3 bad games to start off, but I'll expect to start seeing things in the first, 6 or so weeks. Our season, though, is going to hinge on how quickly he can hit the ground running.
Probably not a bad thing then that he's coming when there's an international break. Give him a week to settle in.
For everyone. For Rui.
Yeah.
For everyone. Even Dessers as well. The midfield, Sanchez to get fitter, Calabria, everyone.
Although I'm not sure if the African teams are playing any internationals during this break, so I'm not sure if Dessers is coming. He's back off again. Play for Nigeria.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that would suck. Duty.
Surely he would just rule himself out. He wouldn't, though.
So then we got the other signing, which was, for me, probably the one I'm most excited about, and not talked about as much, Milos Pantovic.
With good reason. You should be excited.
So what's 24 years old?
23.
23. Scoring stack of goals for Baka Topola in the Serbian league, and the part I also love about him is that, and I think they did a quick clip on the Panathafan YouTube
Well,
channel.
you're going to say the same thing as what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah, far away. Say it, please.
No, yeah, I want to hear if you say it.
Well, for me, what I loved and I didn't fully appreciate is that I knew that he could play on the left wing,
Yeah.
but he's turning around and
10.
saying, "Yeah, I could play as a 10 as well."
Yeah. When I heard that, I lost it. I thought he was an out and out natural 9.
That's what I
And we
thought.
don't, yeah. So maybe he's not coming to be third choice. Because his stats, as you alluded to, his stats are way too good to be third choice for Panathinaikos or any great club.
Yeah,
And that's another thing. We spoke about the border. We don't do that enough. We don't shop in the Argentinian market for those young up and comers. We don't buy enough versatile players, guys that can play 6 and 8, or guys that can play across the front line, or 8 and 10, or centre back, left back, or centre back, right back. This guy can. He's going to be a jack of all trades, like a Swiss Army knife player. It looks like. And
yeah.
now I was ecstatic with the signing because he's got a huge upside relative to the fee we got him for. But now that you hear he can play these other positions, even bigger upside.
So what I would love to see is, look, I'd love to see him just playing as a striker and scoring goal after goal, and all of a sudden he's pushing for first choice, despite the signing of Dessers, and we got Sviderski. But if we really need him on the left, like Jurisic needs to come off, or he's, I won't say injured, touch wood, say that he's been one too many yellow cards and sit out a game where he can actually fill the void there. I know we got Zaruri, but I'd like to have
He's
him as another
been
option too.
Zaruri. I'm not going to jump on the guy because he's another one. He started a bit slowly, but again, he might come good later down the track. But he hasn't hit the ground running, Zaruri, so far.
Yeah, yeah. I think he's been poor. To let's just, I don't know. I'll call it as it is. I
Yeah.
had
No,
high
we're not
hopes for
writing
him.
him off or anything. Yeah.
No, 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 not at all, not at all. But he's very rusty, far more rusty than what anyone would have hoped for. As opposed to some of the other starters who, like Dubar, as an example, who's pretty much been on song from the first match, and hasn't really missed a beat, and what has been a very critical role he had to play. So, and Kiriakopoulos as well. I don't think we've given him enough praise. He's been an absolute superstar since day one for us as well. So, Zaruri, yeah, let's hope he finds his feet. Not all players start with a bang straight away, and let's hope he's just going to take a little bit more time.
What do you reckon then our best 11, if there's such thing these days as a best 11, what would it look like? Even starting from keeper now.
Uh,
That's, I don't know.
for me, let's start that exercise. I'll still have Dragovski as number one.
Me too. I don't think Rui will. I agree with you though.
But, at the end of the day, he 2 seasons in a row now, he's allowed us to qualify to group stages in Europe. Full credit to him. And he did not put a foot wrong in these qualifiers, as far as I'm concerned. Then the centre back pairings,
Easy.
easy. Tubar and Palmer Brown.
In fullbacks, easy.
Well, Kiriakopoulos is easy.
Yeah, and Calabria.
Well, I think Calabria on talent and ability, yes. But, he's still not fully fit by the looks of it. Defensive mid, that would be pretty easy.
City Vega.
Then
That's where now it gets tricky here.
the 8.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have to go Cherin.
See, I would think Sanchez.
Shows how little faith I've got in him.
Yeah, I don't, for good reason. I don't blame you.
Now, if he's fully fit and playing his full potential, obviously the guy's going to be untouchable. He's going to be the first choice any day of the week, but I factor that into my thought process. Right now, Cherin is more reliable.
Taborda?
Taborda for the 10. Then on the right,
Bellistri on the right.
I would agree, because Tete has just not been up to the standard we
No,
expect from him?
no, major drop off compared to last year. Left, still Jurisic.
I would agree.
And up front now, Dessers.
Yeah, it'd have to be Dessers, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but the ability to rotate around the different strikers in terms of Bantovic and Zviderski as well. And it'll be interesting to see if Bantovic becomes second choice as opposed to Zviderski.
He could well. He could well because now the gap between the strikers, as we've touched on in the last few days, it's not like Forty was a clear out and out standout. Now you've got Dessers, Zviderski, Bandovic. It's not a huge gap between them. So very
Yep.
interesting to see how Rui manages that. Maybe he doesn't have a starter, an out and out first choice in his mind. I don't know what he's thinking.
In your mind, Nick, do you think we need to make any more transfers?
I think we do. I don't know if we will. I don't. How should I phrase? I don't think we will.
Yeah. But if you had a choice, what positions would you fill?
No,
If
without a
it's up to
doubt,
you,
without a shadow of a doubt, number 8.
number 8. Any others?
That's it. Because
That's it.
Siopis can come in to cover for Tirivea at 6. Other than that, we've got 2 fullbacks now. Like, sorry, 2 left backs as opposed to this time last year. Godzilla says he can hold his head high. He's had a couple of shaky moments, but overall, I think he's impressed me. Oh, the bar was low and he's looked okay, like enough for a backup. I don't know, centre back. I think we're fine for centre back. Jedvai's out injured at the moment. We've got 2 keepers. We've got 3 strikers. Now we've got 2 Tenzin. We've got Zaruri, Zurisic for the left. Tete Pelistri on the right. We don't know that setting Sanchez, Bregu. We don't know there. That's it.
Would you consider if Zapata was on the cards, and would you take him?
In a heartbeat, I'd take him. But I think for not for later down the track, I think for this season, the ship sailed. Because why would he leave now? He played against us today. Why would he leave now? The Europa League registration, the squad has to be registered in the next 24, 48 hours.
Yep.
He won't come in on the 10th or 12th of September just to play Greek League now.
Yeah, it's a shame. And for me, look, I agree with you in terms of the 8. That's the obvious statement going off what we said earlier. But I still would have liked to have had another right back, being Zapata, really. Only because Calabria has had a history of missing games because of injury. And Gotzeta, at his age, I don't want to put too much. I don't want to do it Mladenovic and rely on him for a large part of the season if that was the case. So it does worry me that all we need is Calabria to be injured and all of a sudden we're relying on Gotzeta and him alone. But you may recall that when Vega nearly got sent off in the first game against Rangers, everyone was panicking about Gotzeta being the only right back.
I remember.
And how people were saying, well, we'll try Cherin in that role and we'll
Pelistri
as a right back. And credit to Rui, he stuck to Gotzeta. He put faith in him, and 6 games later, he didn't let us down, did he?
He delivered. He delivered. That's why I think he's earned my trust to be a backup. But then it's what you said. Can Calabria keep himself fit?
Yep. Yeah. Hence why I'm still nervous. Look, it's a wishful thinking on my part. I know that the club right now, the rumour is that we're not going to go after any more players. That's it. Once Dessers and Taboda are announced, we're done. I'd like to pray that they find something in the market now, the death knell in the transfer season to sort of prop up that midfield. But I'm not going to hold my breath either. I think
You'd only get someone that's willing to, like a Greek, basically, that can play in the Greek league.
Well, the one name that's popped up a few times that initially I wasn't a huge fan of him coming, but right now I'd welcome him open arms is Goodbelly.
I'd take him. Absolutely. I can't see it happening, but if it was to happen, I'd be behind it massively.
And I think you called it out, Nick, to me that his wages will be sky high. So that makes it less likely. But in terms of the style of player he is, because he does play, he's a 6. He can play centre back as well, which is great. So versatile in that sense. But you can also like play that quasi 6-8.
You can also play him at 6 and push Chirivella to 8.
Yeah. Yep.
That could also work.
So just having him there really sort of frees up that midfield. I know then takes away a spot from someone for the European list, because I think that losing Vayanides as a homegrown player puts the limits on how many foreign players we can have in our European squad.
I think one will miss out. One from our squad will miss out the way it is. Don't quote me on it.
Yep.
That's a train wreck. Not many people are, that should be getting more attention, Matt. That whole European list and the homegrown players. Now that Vayanides is gone, the fact that we had to sign Kotsaris as third choice just to tick a box for that. And then the injured Kiriopoulos, young kid winger, ACL injury, he has to be included.
Yep.
That's disgusting.
Yep.
That needs rectifying. We need to see the fruits. I know strides have been made this offseason with the academy. The fruits need to start being bred within the next 24 months on that. And we start seeing some guys take the step up and take those spots.
Years of neglect, Nick. That we're paying the price for it still. And I dare say we're going to pay the price for a little while yet.
Yep. Even as fucked as it would be, Hadziovanis, it would be, well, now he's signed, he's got a club, but he's homegrown.
Yes,
Now,
he is
who else? If we're scrapping now for homegrown, I'm trying to think who else. Triantafilopoulos.
Well, there's also Emmanuel Lizzy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. He just signed with Asteras.
Yep.
So he won't come that he just signed, but that's the bar, that's the level you're looking at. No one from that era, that age group has kicked on. That's what I'm trying to say.
He's hoping though for next season, some of the youngsters like Lavda, who's the centre back, who's meant to be an up-and-coming star. There's Nembis, the young striker, who I think came from Croatia. Yeah. Bokos, who trialled with the club, but for whatever reason wasn't seen to be ready yet. So
Zeka.
maybe next year. Yeah, Zeka as well. There's a bit there.
It's out of all of them, I think it's Lovelas that's next in line. Even though he's younger than some of those guys we mentioned, he looks like a machine, like a brute for a 16-year-old. He could easily pass as a 22, 23-year-old.
And don't forget, we've got Gatri, who's at Levadiakos as on loan as well. So he's one of ours from memory as a homegrown product. So maybe next year and probably even more so the year after, we should be in a much better place.
We have to be.
Unless we do something stupid and let these players go.
It'd be typical.
Yeah, we have to have faith in our technical director.
With the stadium, he can sell it the stadium.
And for those listening on this podcast, I mean, if you haven't noticed, which I'm sure you have, watch each of the videos of the new signings and how they're being welcomed by our beloved technical director. And what's the selling point? The new stadium. So a new stadium, it's not going to be ready for another couple of years at least. And half of the players won't be around to see the new stadium.
Sanchez won't be here. Will Calabria be here? Zaruris alone. This is his third year. He's outlived Ivan. He stayed longer at the club than Jovanovic. Let that sink in.
Yes, he's
and now the whole Dessers thing, the excuse is the time. Oh, we didn't have time. Who else can we sign? We only had 24 hours. We had to get someone realistic, Dessers. But you knew Footy was going. You knew full well he was going, and that's the best you can do. And then who's going to pocket now? We're clear. That's probably worth noting that we're clear now of cost control for at least 2 to 3 years.
Yep.
But is he going to pocket the money? What's going to be done? We've spent about 30. We've made 80. What's going to happen to the 50 million?
Yeah, there definitely is going to be plenty of cash sitting in the bank account somewhere.
Exactly.
Uh,
Exactly.
but the problem is that he'll probably be patting himself on the back saying how great a job he's done.
Yeah. It's a worry.
And his boss wouldn't necessarily do anything to counter that view otherwise.
Yeah. And the worry still persists is that they're hanging Rui out to dry
Yep,
with some of these signings.
yep, yep.
Even
Some fans already starting to question Rui, which it's
he's the
inevitable.
least to blame
Yeah,
because we're creating chances still. You can see an identity. And even in this game, what did you want him to do? The Levadiakos game, his options were limited off the bench. It's a threadbare squad, and now it's what we said. The border is going to take time. This is it's now largely a new look team.
well, he's hoping though that Rui can work his magic and get this new team to gel. Because I think you made a great point, Nick, earlier that this team is it's changed a lot in the last month. We've had three core players, Vajanidi, Maximovic, Ioannidis move on, and we've got other players now sort of fighting for the position of starting 11 because of the new transfers that have come in. Rui's got his hands full.
Big time, big time. Like for the league, that's the thing. The league, we have to be on the front foot. We have to attack and take the game, control it, seize the moment, and all that. But then Europe, there's going to be games where we have to sit back and be a bit tighter at the back and focus on not conceding, prioritize the defense. That's the thing. He's going to have to shift, I think. He's approaching certain games this season. It's not a team, I don't think, now that can sustain that one sort of high level all season.
Yep, yep.
Because
It's
even
gonna.
we're gonna have games. Forget the Horafia in Greece. Like we're gonna like the Ceres that we had last year. We had Zugarden late like winter time almost. It might have even been winter in Sweden. Malmo is going to be cold when we go there.
One thing that Rui, I think, showed in the playoffs that he had to adjust is to learn to win ugly because not every game is going to be pretty. And I think in the Super League in particular, there's going to be a lot of those. You just got to learn how to win, full stop.
I think our rivals have shown that, unfortunately. Not just Olympiacos, even Icon Park.
Yep, yep. And I think that,
They're not 100%, but they're all six out of 6 points.
and that's what we should have done this morning. Ultimately, get the lead, second half, see that the team's not firing, just shut the engines, protect the lead, win ugly. Plenty of time to learn ahead, Nick.
It's what you said, the roller coaster. We got the joy, the buzz of qualifying for Europa League. We get the good draw, but then the downs is we sell 40, and this is pretty much the entire fan base can acknowledge it's underwhelming. You got those peaks and troughs. The highs are high and the lows are low. At a huge club that hasn't won a title for 15 years, you can't get more PAO FC than that.
Well, I'm not giving up hope yet. At the end of the
No,
day,
absolutely,
I think we all agreed in past podcasts that Rui was the right choice to
absolutely.
to retain him, and I'm glad they did. And I think what he's shown thus far, the European games, has been very positive. And still, let's hang on to the positive this morning of the first half that we showed was solid, and we should have been 2-0, 3-0 up, not just one. And then even if we conceded against Levadiakos in the second half, we still would have been able to get the win, and this wouldn't have been much of a discussion. But it is what it is when that has played out. Plenty of road ahead for me in terms of being able to turn around and finesse it. Just like to get one more player in that midfield.
Yeah. Oh, that would be the dream.
On that note, Nick, any final thoughts before we wrap things up today?
Major, good luck to our basketballers that are going well so far with the Greek national team at Eurobasket. And good luck to all our PAO FC players going away on international duty. Don't get injured. Come back fit because it's a marathon, not a sprint. Especially though, good luck to our Greeks. Big games against Belarus and then especially Denmark coming for the World Cup qualifiers for Greece.
Yeah, that's a good call out. And as part of that, yeah, definitely good luck to our players and please stay healthy. But good to see Gidiakopoulos got a call up too
Yes,
to the
well
Ethniki.
deserved.
So
And now that
absolutely.
Yanulis is out injured, Tsimikas hasn't played this season. Kyriakopoulos is every chance of, especially Belarus, of starting that.
Yep. 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 So that'll
It's
be
criminal. I said it back when we signed him. It's criminal. A guy is so talented as Kyriakopoulos only has 8 caps. And that's partially to do with the fact that there's two great left backs in Yanulis and Tsimikas, but he's so good and he's only had 8 caps. Like, wow.
so that'll be 3 Greeks that from our squad as part of Nikki, Siopi and Bakaseta as well.
Bakaseta, yeah.
And if we hadn't sold Vayanidi and Ionidi, it would have been 5, which
Yeah,
is for one
pretty
club
good.
that's pretty good. So again, Panathafan producing ethnic play as well. I shouldn't say producing when Siopi has only been with us a short time, and it's probably argue the same for
Well,
Bakaseta as well.
Vayanidis from our academy, though.
Yeah, he's
But
going to
as
be a
we've
fit.
said in the past about him, I think you've said it in the past, he's an anomaly.
Definitely was for the last batch of players from the academy. He definitely was.
Yeah.
Let's wrap things up there. Nick, as always, love the time chatting about Panathinaikos. Let's enjoy the international break for what it is and look forward to chatting again in a few weeks' time.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Nick.